How's it going, guys? Dr. Leatherface back with my monthly pickups video, even though the last one I did was about 2 months ago. Sorry for being late, sorry for being shit, but I'm back now, and I've got some really cool stuff to show you. There's not a lot of stuff here, and it's, to be honest, it's mostly Game Boy stuff, which you probably noticed by the creatively titled video, Game Boy Haul. But yeah, some really cool shit here, so let's just get into it, shall we? And first up, we have an original Nintendo Game Boy, the DMG-001. It's in okay condition, it could do with some cleaning up, but yeah, pretty cool to have. Just need to replace the faceplate. I've already got one, but I'll just do that up and set it on, it'll be cool. And then, next up, we have something I've been after for a while, and that is a Game Boy Color, and I found one fully boxed with everything in there. It's like mint condition, it's like it's never ever been used, so that's really cool to have. I've been looking for one for ages, and I find a bunch of them in the same month for next to nothing. So this came with a bunch of games. First up, it had Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Tetris DX, which I genuinely believe Tetris is one of the greatest games ever made, so that's awesome. And it came with the Game Boy Game & Watch Gallery 2, complete in a little plastic case here, which is often missing. So that's cool. I have just like a collection of all the old Game & Watch games, just updated for the Game Boy, and that came with the manual, so not a bad little haul there. And then next up, there is another Game Boy. It is this one, another Game Boy Color, the more common purple version of it. So that was cool. This is one I originally got, and then I just found that. So this one's going to end up being traded, and that's going into the collection. So there's that, and it came with some games. One is Power Quest, which is like a tactics game, a turn-based tactics game. I haven't put much time into it, but I gave it a little test and it's pretty sweet. So we'll see what that's all about. And then it came with this incredibly rare and valuable game. But it came with this. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. That's right, America, the correct title of Philosopher's Stone. This is an awesome game. I've been after it for a while. It's a turn-based RPG, like legit turn-based RPG of Harry Potter, and it's fantastic. It's really different to all the other versions of the game, which came out on various platforms, and the later games in the series on the Game Boy Advance. They kind of ditched the turn-based RPG aspect of the Harry Potter games, and it sucks, really, because this is really sweet. It's like the Lord of the Rings a turn-based RPG that came out around the same time. That's forgotten as well, but yeah, really good. Happy to pick that up. It's got the manual and everything in there, so pretty sweet. And I'll just clear this table ready for the next lot. So some more Game Boy stuff. Something else that I found, wasn't really looking for one, but it's just really cool to have, and that is the Game Boy Printer. This is a original edition, was made to look like the original DMG-01 Game Boy, so that's kind of cool. And I was very happy that when I opened it up and checked what was in there, it also came with this. So I now have the Game Boy Printer and the Game Boy camera, which is pretty much the most useless peripheral ever made for anything ever. The photos and the quality is absolutely pointless, but it's just a really interesting item to have. You can just have a lot of fun with it, even though it's kind of shit. And yeah, it just came with the printer as well. I'm going to try and get some printer paper for it, because that'll be really sweet, just to fuck around with that for a laugh. But yeah, it came with the printer here, that everything's there. It's missing the cable to hook it up, but they're easily found for next to nothing. So that's kind of cool to have. Game Boy Printer, Game Boy camera. And next up, I have some Game Boy Advance games, because, you know, we'll do a little bit of Game Boy for a change. And first up, we have V-Rally 3. Nothing really impressive, and it's kind of in shitty condition, but yeah, V-Rally. It's kind of a decent racing game. I gave it a quick go. And then we have Tekken Advance, which again, it's alright, it's decent enough, just, there's better out there. And then we have Namco Museum, which has got all of the usual suspects on there. It's just really cool to have a little compilation of all of them. Pac-Man, obviously, is the best one on there. Because Pac-Man, if it's ever on a compilation, it's the best game on there. And Street Fighter 2 Revival, which is a really sweet Street Fighter game. The only thing that lets it down is the sound. I mean, graphically and gameplay-wise, it's absolutely fantastic, little portable version of it. But the sound just sounds like it was made for the original Game Boy in like 1989 or something. It's really, I don't know, just really odd chiptune music with fantastic graphics. It doesn't feel right. It's weird. Yeah, cool. It's a cool game nonetheless. And then we have Defender of the Crown, which is a port of one of the most famous games ever, which came out on everything ever back in the day in some form or another. And this is an actual perfect port of the old, I think I played it on the Amiga when I was a kid, and it's exactly the same. And next up is Breath of Fire 2, which is an absolute classic game. Everybody knows what Breath of Fire is. Don't really need to say anything about it. But yeah, not bad. I think I paid like £5 for all of this lot. So pretty decent little haul. And that's it for all of the Game Boy stuff. So not a bad haul this month for something that I don't normally manage to pick up stuff for. You never really see any decent Game Boy stuff out or about, yet alone the consoles themselves. So it's pretty sweet to pick that up. And then next up, we have a t-shirt. My friend messaged me on Facebook, was like, dude, you need to see this shirt, and it was wicked. I got this from T-Turtle, and it's called Size Matters, and yeah, fuck you, Link. Cloud Strife is the shit. His Buster Sword is going to be jammed up your ass, then he's going to jam you and the Buster Sword up Princess Zelda's ass. It's just a really, really fun t-shirt. Absolutely love it. Very cool. And then we have, thanks to Nintendo deciding to randomly change their fucking points program, I had to cash in all of my points for something I don't really want, just so they can swap it out for a points program, which is pretty much exactly the same, and it's just a way to force people to spend all of their points, so they have fuck all. And I managed to get this. Hey, it's a fucking cardboard binder thing with some bookmarks for Mario Kart 8. So I can't really complain because it was free, but yeah, I didn't really want it. I just had to grab it, so I didn't lose my points, but oh well, it was free. It's alright, I guess. Cheers, Nintendo, you sons of bitches. And then we have some random ass PlayStation 2. I had to buy a new Xbox because mine was absolutely fucked. So I got it and it came with this. That was in the disc drive, and that's just Midtown Madness free. Decent game. And it also had this as well. And a copy of Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines, which is an absolute piece of shit. Oops. And I got some random Game Boy games. Sorry, not Game Boy, PlayStation 2 games. And they are Canis Canem Edict, or Bully, or Bulworth Academy, whichever way you want to look at it. Already had that game, but it's just an upgrade because mine's a bit tatty. The Warriors, this is like the 20th copy of The Warriors. I have no idea why I keep picking up copies of it by accident. It's normally in bundles, or I just forget. Deus Ex, which is one of the greatest games ever made, and is a very, very good port of it for the PlayStation. And SSX Tricky, which, believe it or not, I didn't have. Absolutely shocking. And Shadow of Rome, which is a game I've been after for a while. It's a gladiatorial, like, combat simulator thing. It's pretty sweet, so been after that for a while. Finally got it. Excellent. And next up, we have some random stuff. First up for the PC, we have a copy of Starship Troopers, which is an okay game, nothing special, but I kind of liked it back in the day, and I'm a massive Starship Troopers fan, so that's cool to have. And then I picked up Bit Trip Complete for the Nintendo Wii, which is a game I've been after for a while, and it's really, really cheap right now. You can get it for next to nothing sealed. It comes with the soundtrack and all of the games in the Bit Trip collection up until that point. So I have a funny feeling that this is going to be worth a little something in the future, but I absolutely adore this series, so I just had to pick it up. And then we got some absolute classics for the Xbox, Dark Summits, which I haven't actually played at all, but my friend Rachel was actually blitzed through and completed nearly, so that's cool. And then Peter Jackson's King Kong, which is actually a really, really fucking good game. Very surprising. And then Project Gotham Racing, which I didn't have, and is a spiritual successor to... oh, Christ, what's it called? It's a Dreamcast game. It was a racing game on the Dreamcast that I can't remember right now, but yeah, that's why I had to get that. And lastly, we have some guides. I managed to get X-Men Legends, which is an awesome game, and the guide to X-Men Legends 2, which I've been after for a while. Absolutely adore both of these games. They're fantastic multiplayer games, so pretty sweet. And the board game this month, which I got for next to nothing, is Pandemic. It's an excellent cooperative game where you have to work to eradicate a disease and viruses that are taking over the world. It's absolutely incredible. We still haven't actually beaten it properly. We won once, but then we realised that we weren't exactly paying attention to the rules, so we didn't really win it all. But yeah, it's an awesome, fun game, and if you see it, check it out, or at least watch some videos on it, or play it if you get the chance, because it's great fun. And lastly, we have some PlayStation and Dreamcast. I got messaged by the guys at HughCast asking for their help testing out an aspect of their website, and I did, and they sent me a game for free. They said I could pick anything from their website, so I chose the Redux Dark Matters version 1.1 Collector's Edition. So there's something I wouldn't have bought normally, but because it was free, I jumped at the chance to get it, and that's awesome of them. And they also sent me another disc version of Redux 1.1. I can't remember why, but yeah, awesome stuff. Not bad for free games. And then lastly, the absolute win here is Azure Dreams on the PlayStation 1. I managed to find this for 99p in a charity shop, and this sells for about 100 quid, so that's awesome. So thank you very much for watching. That's my pickups for this month. I'll be back in a few weeks with another pickups video because I've got so much stuff stockpiled here. So thanks very much. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, and all that good shit, because it helps me out a bunch, and I shall see you very soon for my next pick.